Your favorite Deadlock weatherman here, and the reports are in. Today is hot. A hot fix, in fact, as Valve have gone ahead and dropped a balance adjustment hotfix on us, fine-tuning some of the new things that spawned up off the back of the most recent minor update that was shipped a couple days ago. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty and see just what exactly Valve have identified as a problematic issue. As always, I'm your host, Jacky. Let's get into the update and talk about it. First and foremost then, of course, there's been a lot of death balling. We've seen players rotating, ganking, and grouping up massively following the balance fix. Now that in itself isn't bad, but that kill bounty split between heroes was getting a bit egregious, so Valve have tuned that down alongside increasing the overall base HP of every hero in the game by 50, potentially to alleviate this issue, alongside providing some extra sustainability for most heroes, of course, following the increase of gun damage and the new power spikes you're getting at 4.8k with the investment into the multiple item trees in Deadlock, making heroes pop you far quicker, encouraging a more aggressive deathball meta where lanes are fun, but you're expecting half of the team to rotate through. It's a revolving door of Deadlock fights at the moment, with the game feeling very brawly and very aggressive. Personally, I've been enjoying it, but I can see why they're trying to target it to some degree. The item changes that they made within these hotfixes also lead me to believe that was the reasoning behind the adjustments here. Let's get into one of the key ones. If you identify just how powerful Trophy Collector was quickly, you were in for some great economy games over the past couple of days. We've been running multiple stacks of Trophy Collector even due to the fact that it's so lenient with multiple players in what it really factors into participating in kills. You're going to get these trophies for providing healing, being around, as long as you even shot really a bullet in a close enough distance from the other players, you'll still gain stacks. If the majority of your team were running Trophy Collector, you were getting unbelievable ability range, but it's that economy side that was racking up so quickly, putting players astronomically further ahead with very little investment. This thing upgrades from sprint boots. Who isn't buying the extra movement speed? So they've tried to tone that back and restricted some of this with those adjustments to Trophy Collector, minusing that souls per minute and shutting down some of the additional health you're getting per stack. Similarly, another item that was synergizing very well right now in this sort of deathball focus meta was Focus Lens. This wasn't just your haze item that you'd see cropping up, this was now becoming a must-buy for multiple heroes. We're seeing hazes carry this around, wraiths with it in the back pocket, hell, I've even run into multiple lashes that were using this for the additional benefit of damage output. And one of the reasons for that is because this item builds from Spirit Sap. Spirit Sap is great for just shredding resistance and making your opponents incredibly weak, giving you more burst damage, so it works on a lot of heroes. Again, Valve have realized it's probably not the best idea to have everyone using one of their active slots on a UFO that just gives you mega damage, so they have gone in and adjusted this one slightly. It's cooldown related, that's how they've tried to nerf it, going up from 25 seconds to 32 seconds. Like I said, it builds from Spirit Sap, so they also applied this to the initial component item as well, so both of them now have 32-second cooldowns. Hopefully this alleviates some of the use case of this item being a must-have flavor of the week pickup right now. They also made a couple changes to heroes. Obviously, I briefly mentioned the change to Drifter in the main episode of Patch Notice, but just to reiterate, that base HP of 750 did get brought down to 675. Now, of course, this is before we factor in that additional 50 HP that has been given out, so it goes up a little bit and corrects itself in the long run. Warden also had a minor nerf in terms of that bullet damage scaling he's going to be getting in growth per boon. That went down from 0.53 to 0.47. So trying to stop some of the abuse of very strong gun damage scaling wardens, which, gun is definitely on the rise. It's not as bad as you think. You could still definitely get away with some crazy strong spirit builds right now, and I would encourage a mixture of both, especially with those investment trees at 4.8k, giving you massive spikes. So don't ignore the other investment opportunities in Deadlock. Moving on from that, let's talk a little bit about some of the fixes we saw made to Guardians. Now, objectives do feel a lot better right now. Current patch, they're nowhere near as easy to just shred, but there were a couple problems with Guardians in lane. So Valve have upped that base HP from 4250 to 5500, so a massive increase there on the actual base Guardian HP, going up by about 1250, and they've upped the decay as well. So that decay armor peak is now kicking in at 12 minutes instead of 10 minutes, which should mean players aren't rushing to finish lanes as easily. You know, if you get a kill in lane, you don't want to instantly be diving on that Guardian right now. It's not going to be worth it for the investment you get back. You want to play out lane by lane, wave by wave, make sure you're getting the max souls out of this, then going to try and start doing real chip damage on the Guardian following that point where the armor resistance comes down a little bit. So factor that in, don't over rush your lanes now. Base Guardians also incorrectly weren't given the HP they were supposed to have in this patch, so that's been fixed. They were previously 1000 HP less. That's why when you got towards the base, the Guardians would just fall over. And if that's your last line of defense for the patron, probably not the best idea. So Valve have fixed that one. It'll now be a little bit harder to just steamroll into the base once you bypass their walkers. And then for the final few adjustments that were made inside of this hotfix, they also tweaked the Medit pack missing HP. That is going to be reduced down from 10% to 8%. Now, these med pack heals were feeling incredibly strong. It's a fun mechanic, right? The way they've changed it now where you can choose when you want to get that heal. If you're unaware, when you kill that bannered troop, that's the point the healing pack is going to fall down to the ground. So make sure you're not just rushing through killing banner troops anymore. You want to use it when it's advantageous to you. Additionally, neutral bounties went up by another 5% to reward how much stronger and tankier they now are. And base gun damage was reduced by 5%, but that's not growth, just the base damage that it has. Overall, though, that's all the keynotes that you need to know about the hotfixes we've seen to the current patch of Deadlock. What have you been thinking about it? Now you've had a couple days to play around. I'm enjoying it. I think it's in a really good spot right now. The game feels like it encourages a lot of fun fights, good diversity in item builds, and it's feeling like a great time to enjoy stomping around the cursed apple. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, to Dead Air, and we'll see you with more content very soon.